told you that one of the most fascinating visual records of 19th century India wasn't created by a photographer because photography hadn't yet taken hold. Instead, it was created by a woman carrying nothing more than a sketchbook, a pencil, and an extraordinary eye for detail. Her drawings captured kings and courtiers, servants, travelers, fakirs, Sikh warriors, hill communities, and everyday people, preserving a world on the verge of change. Hello everyone, I'm Akanksha and welcome back to Flashback Friday Season 2 presented by Art with Abir. So today we are traveling back to the 1830s to discover the story of Emily Eden, an English artist and writer whose sketches captured India at remarkable moment in the history, just before photography became the visual language of the British Empire. Emily Eden belonged to one of Britain's most influential political families. She traveled across northern India while accompanying her brother George Eden, the Governor General of India. Unlike many British visitors who focused mainly on kings and official ceremonies, Emily Eden looked beyond the palaces. Her sketchbook slowly filled with portraits of princes, generals, servants, attendants, travelers, fakirs, Afghan and Sikh nobles, Akali warriors, people from hill communities, and even the animals that accompanied imperial journey. That usually broad perspective is what makes her work so significant even today. Think about it. Before cameras could freeze a moment in time, artists were responsible for preserving history. Every face, every costume, every expression depended entirely on the artist's observation. And Emily Eden observed India with remarkable curiosity. More than 2 dozen of her sketches were published in 1844 in a collection titled Portraits of the Princes and People of India. Today, those works are reunited in the exhibition Princes and People at DAC in Delhi. Curated by art historian Mary Ann Pryor, the exhibition brings together the complete series of hand-colored lithographs created from Emily Eden's original sketches, allowing visitors to step back into 19th century India. But Emily's relationship with India didn't begin with admiration. Like many first-time travelers, she initially struggled to adapt a completely unfamiliar world. Emily arrived in Calcutta in March 1836 and felt deeply homesick. The language, climate, and customs all seemed overwhelming. In fact, she didn't sketch for nearly 3 weeks and didn't complete a painting for almost 2 months. Fortunately, she wasn't traveling alone. Her journey included her sister Fanny, her nephew William, maids, an ayah, a cook, a valet, a physician, and even several pets, whose company helped ease the transition. And slowly, something changed. The woman who had arrived feeling uncomfortable began looking at India through the eyes of an artist rather than those of a visitor. Even before reaching India, the sea voyage has introduced Emily to a new culture and different ways of life. According to an art historian, Mary Ann Pryor, these experiences expanded her artistic vision. Instead of painting English churches, castles, and the countryside, Emily became fascinated by unfamiliar faces, clothing, architecture, and everyday life. Between 1836 and 1842, she traveled through northern India during a period of enormous political change, documenting places and people that would soon become part of history. One of the most valuable parts of her work is a series of sketches she created at the court of Maharaja Ranjit Singh. His Punjab kingdom was one of the most powerful states in the subcontinent, and Emily's drawings captured it during the final years of his reign, just before the beginning of the Victoria era. Emily wasn't only recording history through images, she was documenting her experiences through words as well. Her journals are filled with humor, sharp observations, and vivid descriptions. While visiting Benares, now called as Varanasi, Emily and her family sailed along the Ganga before reaching Ramnagar, where the king had a country residence. The scenery impressed her so deeply that she wrote, We need to keep our steamer here and to go out, sketching in it. It was a simple sentence, but it revealed just how inspired she had become by the landscapes around her. What's fascinating is how dramatically her perspective evolved. The same India that once felt overwhelming gradually became the subject of her finest work. At first, Emily complained about almost everything: the heat, mosquitoes, barking dogs, crows, Brahmini kites, and even women attending church without bonnets. But over time, discomfort gave way to curiosity. She began sketching constantly. Her paintings became popular among the British community in India, sold successfully at charity fairs in Shimla, and were even copied by Indian artists. Today, art historians regard Emily Eden as one of the finest British women artists of the Regency and Victorian periods. Yet, like many historical figures, her story also contains contradictions. Despite her extraordinary powers of observation, Emily firmly believed in Britain's so-called civilizing mission. She viewed colonial rule as a duty to civilize India, reflecting the imperial mindset of her era. Her sketches, therefore, tell two stories at once. They are invaluable artistic and historical records, but they also remind us to the colonial perspective through which they were created. In 1842, Emily returned to England. Although she continued to paint, the urgency that had driven her Indian sketches slowly disappeared. Instead, writing became the medium through which she shared her experiences. So this was Flashback Friday with Heart with a Bee. See you next week when we uncover another story that takes us back in the time and reveals how art has helped preserve the world around us.